Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Catholic Education Foundation podcast. This podcast will feature Chris Ratterman, the founder and CEO of Louisville-based Shady Rays, along with Catholic Education Foundation President Rich Lecklider.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy to be here.
Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Super exciting being a St. X alum over here, to have a young entrepreneur with us as we talk about your family, your Catholic education, and what's been an amazing career for you. Just unbelievable what you've created. I know you and Rich know each other from way back, but let's start at your beginning. So tell us about your family and your start in Catholic schools at Holy Spirit.
So I've got two great parents. I'm the oldest of two boys. My younger brother is 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
And yes, we went to Holy Spirit Catholic school, had an amazing experience.
Now, was
there.
Doris there when you were there? Doris Swinson?
I don't remember her.
No, she would not have been there.
What about Terry Mulaney? Do you remember that name at all?
That name does not ring a bell
Okay, he
either.
was probably before your time there.
Yeah,
but-
Doris she just hit 20 years there.
Yeah, Doris is the current principal at Holy Spirit, and she's one of the best around.
Yeah,
She's
she
awesome.
is. Yes, she is. For sure.
Yeah, who was the principal when you were at Holy Spirit?
Dumsdorf
Okay.
when I was young,
Yeah.
Colette,
and then
Colette.
Richie.
Okay.
Yeah, Colette
Awesome.
Dumsdorf, for sure.
Yeah,
Who was also the principal at St. James School for a good while.
Okay.
After
That's right.
that. And she's wonderful. Yeah.
Now, Rich, were your kids at Holy Spirit kind of the same time, or?
Yeah, Matt, my oldest son, is the same age as your brother,
Okay.
younger brother Dan.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
they started together at Holy Spirit,
Yes.
and in the late 90s and so on. So there are a lot of connections up there at Holy Spirit for sure.
So after Holy Spirit, Chris, you moved on to St. X. Tell us about that experience.
That's right. St. X was great. I've got long lineage in my family.
Got it.
St. X. And now being married on both sides of the family, there's really no other school to speak of if you are a male in the family. But I had a great experience there. A lot of my best friends met there, and they're still my best friends today. I know a lot of people can relate to that story.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I got, the first education related to business and
Okay.
exposure to business building in different areas throughout
Yep.
my time at St. X. And, in addition to recreation and sports and everything.
So there was a class when I was at St. X. Actually, Coach Bergamini was the teacher of it, and it was a business class. It was the the name's escaping me. It's the organization that does all the business classes here in town. And
The Junior Achievement?
the Junior Achievement. Thank
Yes.
you. I couldn't come up with it. Did you do Junior Achievement at St. X?
Yes.
I did too.
Yes.
You may have broke my record. So when I was there, we created it was basically a cup that had this really cool. We had this unbelievable artist in our class, and we had him do this tiger on a beach, and we sold a cup. And then my family was actually doing some products overseas, and I had these things made in China.
Oh, wow.
We shipped them over and we broke records. Actually, they shut us down because we were making too much money. I got in trouble because we made so much money selling them in the lunchtime and everything else. So loved my junior achievement time at St. X. It was really cool.
Sounds like you made it very productive for yourself. Maybe less so for me, but the Junior Achievement experience I had at St. X is one of the things that stuck with me.
Same.
Because it's just business and entrepreneurship and everything. It just always resonates with me. And I remember someone coming in and talking, don't remember their name, but they had started and grown franchises related to Dunkin' Donuts and grown it throughout the country.
Yeah.
And there was a guest speaker as my business administration class. But those are the things I really hung on to.
Did you always know you want to be an entrepreneur?
I always had the entrepreneurship bug. So I was the third grader that was asking for a subscription to Entrepreneur Magazine.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's saying something, Rich. Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
that's pre-Shark Tank.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But my first business idea, I wanted to buy a claw machine, one of those candy cranes.
Yep.
And I wanted to put it in a kid's hair cutting place. And I tried to pitch my parents on buying it. It was $3,000, which of course, and this is in the early 90s, $3,000, mid-90s.
Well, that's a ton.
Yeah, a ton. And but I had this idea that I was going to do that, and that I never got the funding, so to speak, from my parents. But I always had the desire to do that sort of thing.
Okay. Cool. All right. And then obviously you went to Xavier University. I guess you're a graduate from there. Marketing and finance major. How'd you pick Xavier. A lot of people that when I knew that went to St. X picked Xavier because they could already spell Xavier. But what led you to Xavier?
The name's the same. You stick with the X and you change
Right.
the color.
I already knew how to spell it.
It's easy to go there. My dad went to Xavier. My mom
Okay.
went to Dayton in Ohio.
Okay.
So we looked at all the Ohio schools, Miami, Dayton. I actually committed to Dayton and then changed to Xavier at the last minute.
Okay.
Ultimately, it was theme here. The better rated business school that I perceived at the time to be better rated business school is why I chose Xavier. It's a good distance away from Louisville.
Right.
And I felt like it was a good, tight-knit community that had a lot of resources for me to build a close group of friends, but ultimately be able to go into business. But at the time, I had no idea what sort of business I wanted to do at all, which is what led me to major in marketing and finance, try to learn it all, try to do something in business that was going to be very applicable, but maybe didn't exactly resonate with accounting or economics.
Right.
So it was kind of that balance of finding something that's going to be productive, but also got me really excited.
Now, did you know Rich is also a Xavier graduate?
I did know that.
Well, I would say this. I think Chris and I may not have taken the same course schedule. Let's just put it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right. When you were at Xavier University, was there anything that kind of drove that entrepreneurship while you were there?
You know, the marketing classes that I had, one of them was consumer behavior. Always of a lot of interest. Different case study related, capstone related classes where we could really get a mentor at P&G, at real business leadership experience. I think those were the best. Xavier actually has an entrepreneurial program, which I did not go into. So notably, I was not in college saying I'm going to start a business directly. Like I was not thinking I'm going to start a company and that's the goal. I was actually thinking I want to learn as much as I can about business and then go into business and make that be my career.
Right.
And it was more about climbing the corporate ladder probably. So I would say I got into that zone. And then when I got my job out of college, which I'll pause for now on that, I got into that. And then kind of the bug came back and the desire to start a business came back later.
Okay. So let's talk about out of college. So you got into the bourbon industry pretty quick, I would assume, right?
Graduated in 2008. This was the Great Recession. It was difficult to find a job. I was very lucky to get what actually was an internship out of school at first with Heaven Hill Brands.
Oh, cool.
Here locally, and worked in the spirit industry. It's a great independent family-run company, and I got some incredible experience there. Had no idea what I was doing, but I was given a lot of responsibility early.
Okay.
And it was also at the beginning of social media marketing. So just the very beginning of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram wasn't there yet, Snapchat, TikTok, any of those things.
Yep.
And so it was a real turning point in the industry to say, when I went into Heaven Hill, a lot of the advertising was radio and print, sometimes cable television, but I was working on print campaigns with Sports Illustrated.
Right.
And my boss said, you go figure out Facebook, you go figure out Twitter.
Okay.
And that became an area where was just fertile to learn and grow and be the expert in a company with very smart senior marketing.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. All right. So I can certainly see how that led to success later down the road. But all right, let's talk about the idea behind Shady Rays. How did the sunglass thing come to you?
So I was really interested in online marketing and social media and content creation and how all of those things were coming together.
Yep.
I brainstormed lots of business ideas, lots of things. Since I still have the list. Some of those things have happened. Some of those things were horrible. But one of those things,
trial and error.
One of those things was Shady Rays. And ultimately, I was really interested in sunglasses. I was an Oakley kid from the 90s and I thought those were cool, but my parents wouldn't buy me those. And so I had this experience of sunglasses being really cool, but unattainable.
Right.
And then, and I thought it worked well for e-commerce because they're small. They're generally one size fits all. They're easy to ship. It's very competitive, but still there were some interesting dynamics at play there. And so being a student of marketing, I set out to find what our differentiation could be in a product. And that's what led me to search online and search cuss words, negative terms related to sunglasses. What are people mad about? And over again, it was hundreds of people every day that were talking about losing and breaking high quality sunglasses. Yeah. And that was the genesis and still is the number one differentiator for Shady Rays is losing and breaking high quality sunglasses and bringing all that together.
It's pretty genius there, Rich.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's a couple things that I hope listeners pick up here. So, Chris, what I took out of that is the fact that you were searching online the negative keywords, right, to figure out what the problem was, so you could go fix the problem in a certain industry. That's how successful people work.
Mm-hmm. So, if you buy a pair of glasses and you lose them, what happens?
You can lose them day one. You get them on a Friday, you drop them in the lake on a Saturday, and you email our team. If you can verify your email, your name, the style, and color, then for processing fee of about $9 to $10, we'll send you a brand new pair.
Wow.
And we'll do it up to twice, so 3 strikes and you're out. But it's the industry's best protection program by a long shot, because nobody does that with sight unseen.
So, same thing if they break?
Same thing if they break.
And you don't need proof.
No, you just have to verify your order, but you do not need proof for that. And we have and if it's a defect, then for life we'll do completely free. We'll replace it. But lost, yeah. You don't
So was this the idea from the jump? Is this how I'm going to fix this industry? Because I'm with you. I can't. I've had Oakleys. I was a golfer growing up. I've left so many Oakleys in the little cubby hole of a golf cart to drive you crazy. But I stopped buying the expensive stuff because I would lose them. Yeah. So, I mean, was that part of kind of the thought behind all this? I'm going to fix this with this?
So it's that, but it's also, we don't have anything negative to say about any other brands. So it's really nothing negative about other brands. But, you buy some of these sunglasses for $300, sometimes more, especially sports sunglasses, right? It is a piece of plastic.
Yep.
It is a very nice piece of plastic, but it's a piece of plastic that you put on your face.
Yep.
And then you go out and get dirty and you get in the waves and you get in the lake and you do all these things. And because of the margins, like we could literally make the same quality, the same lens, the same materials. And in early days, we did not. Like in early days, the quality wasn't there and the price was lower. But over time, like we're building in these same things. So the point is, we can't give people junk and say, well, it doesn't matter if you lose them, we'll get another one. Like we have to give people as good as they would get buying a high-end brand and replace them. And it's just like we have to over deliver, because getting someone to change their buying habits, come off of a brand, which is there's amazing national brands that have been established for decades and decades, right? To move people off of that takes a lot. So how do we move people off that? Give the same quality for a fraction of the price, with lost or broken, with free returns and free shipping and charitable component, all these things. Like throw the kitchen sink and see what comes back, because it takes the kitchen sink to break through.
Wow. So when did you first launch the company? What year was that?
2012.
So 12, right after the Great Recession, as you just said. I mean, 9 and 10 were really tough years. So 12, you jump into this thing. You're still working in the bourbon industry, right? You didn't leave that yet.
There's so much hurry up and wait. You find an accountant, you find a lawyer, you try to find some manufacturers, you get samples, those take months. So it was pretty crucial that I had my day job to be able to bootstrap this. And so it wasn't really till 2015 probably when I had like a real website with things to sell and able to fulfill orders. And then ultimately it was mid 2017 when I quit my job.
Wow.
Did you get investors, or did you finance this all yourself?
No. Credit cards, a little bit of cash, and get the product that I could, minimum viable product, put a website out there, spend what I could on advertising, and then whatever I make back, roll it back in.
Would you suggest that as somebody that's kind of looking to start up, they see what you've done, would you suggest going out and doing the whole investor thing and trying to get through the rounds, or would you suggest to try to bootstrap this on your own?
So there's obviously pros and cons, but I'm the town crier for do it on your own. Control your own destiny. Don't assume that you have had success because you raise a lot of money, even if it's a flashy number like millions.
Yeah,
because you're really actually losing more control than you think, even if you have majority. And you want to be able to take the time to be creative and build what you want to build. And that's the luxury that I didn't know I had back then. And then now we're able to do what we need to do to make the right decisions for the brand and not be beholden to other metrics or other numbers, or have to sell because investors have to make their money. We don't have those constraints. We don't have a board of directors. And so we're able to run lean, and we lean into that. Like, we're an independent company, we're lean, and we're gonna do the right thing. And so that has to be our difference, because that is not what the larger conglomerates can necessarily do.
How many employees do you have today?
About 180.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. But they're not just here in Louisville. I mean, they're all over the place, right?
They're all over the country and in some part the world. And a lot of jobs that we post for are national search. And it just so happens that in Louisville, there's not a lot of people that design eyewear. Okay. So our product development team is actually in San Diego.
Okay.
We have multiple people in San Diego. Our CFO's in Boston, our CMO's in Vermont, and we got some people here too. We do have probably a third of our team is here. In particular, our warehouse is here, and our team that fulfills orders every day is here. So it's a combination, but we consider ourselves basically a fully remote company. And we come together for certain meetings, different teams come together, do different trips. We have an all-team summit, but like daily, we are working remote. Not dissimilar to how companies worked in COVID.
But this is, you were doing this long before COVID
Yes.
started.
Yes.
So that's really interesting. That's cutting edge stuff right there. I mean, plus you take all the occupancy cost out of this thing, right?
That's right.
You know, you're not bringing everybody to an office every day.
Yeah.
This and that. I mean, there's a lot of cost savings in that way as well. What about like keeping the workforce together? I mean, how do you do that remote, right? How do you create a culture in a remote environment that keeps
Great
the
question.
team kind of together?
Yeah, we think about that a lot. It takes more effort, and it takes being proactive about it. One, we encourage the team to reach out through direct message, to set up coffee, Zoom meetings, because it's very easy to get isolated in a remote work environment. And so you have to be the change too. You have to champion that for yourself and for the team. We have adventure days is a fun thing we do. So every quarter we fund somebody taking full day off, and they get money to go out and do something they wouldn't normally do. Get a hot air balloon ride or whitewater raft, and then send pictures and share that with the team. That's a fun thing we do. We do mental health days because it can be lonely to work in your house all day long and not walk outside.
I don't think I could do it. I've never tried it. Let's put it that way.
I mean, we interview for it too, right? Like,
yeah.
Because some people are inclined to that. Some people say, I need to be able to walk around.
Yeah.
I need to be able to walk on people's doors, knock on a door, and I need to be able to talk to people at the water cooler. You're probably not right for this situation. But we do bring people in. Like I see certain people in the company that I don't work with on an everyday basis. Even my direct reports, I might see them 5-6 times a year. Every day on message, every day on Zoom, 5-6 times a year. And for us, it's enough, and that time is purposeful. But
so that keeps people engaged, because it's all about engagement, right? And if you're going to develop a culture, it's got to be about engagement first. And even in our little operation, there's 8 of us, right? Mm-hmm. We're sort of packed in this office together, but we have to do that because we're so small, and the back and forth is just it sort of can't replicate that otherwise,
right?
But in your business, you've learned how to really innovate that way. I mean,
yeah, and I think some of the pros of it too are you don't have distractions. So you don't have to drive. You are easy for lunch. You don't have people knocking on your door, because that's both good and bad. Open door policy is not all great. You need to be able to focus in and do the thing that you need to do. And so we have very purposeful meetings. Most of them are on Monday. Executive team meetings, cross-functional meetings, performance meetings, scorecards. We stack those on Monday, so everybody hits the ground running. They know where we're tracking, what the largest initiatives are, what we need to get done, what the must-win projects are, and then people go with their individual teams. And there's lots of other meetings throughout the week, but try to be very purposeful on meetings and protect solo work time. For me, it doesn't always work. It doesn't usually work. I try to make Friday a fully individual work time day, solo work day. And if I can do that and I can sit for 10 hours by myself, those are my most productive times. And so I'm very clear about when am I actually meeting? When am I in person? When am I meeting remote? When am I working on heavier numbers related things versus creative projects? And also for me, what do I need to be part of and what do I not need to be part of? So it's a constant prioritization.
No, listen, my hat's off to you. And I think in this world, there's lots of ways to kind of crack this nut. And I think you found a unique sort of business. First of all, congratulations. But secondly, you've got, to your point, you've got people all over the country, okay, in various roles, but it's working, and it's working really well. So your first sales were in what, 17?
15.
Yeah. So you started shipping out of your house, or, I mean, how did it?
In the very early days, I had a tub under my bed with sunglasses and Ziploc bags and no SKU numbers. So someone would order something, and I would look at the picture of what they ordered, and then I would dig through the tub to find that color.
Where did you get your first inventory?
Some manufacturers in China that I found through Alibaba at first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my girlfriend, then wife now, was like, this is not the best way to do this. Like, this doesn't really make sense. Like, if you actually start getting orders, like, this is gonna be a problem real quick.
So your inventory was how many pairs of sunglasses? A couple hundred or
100.
Okay, at
120.
That was your start.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get an order, kind of rumble through the.
And I was like, I don't have great personal style. I don't know what's hot in sunglasses. I didn't have experience in eyewear either. So I was like, send me 2 of everything you think might sell. Just 2 of everything. And I had my branding, right? The branding, and that's where I was focused. But like, just send me everything and we'll see what sells. We'll put it on the website. It'll look like we have a massive collection, but really we have 2 of each thing under my bed.
It's awesome.
And then, and actually a funny story is when the first order came in, I had a label. Well, actually I did not have a label print. So I had not actually thought about what actually would happen if I got an order, because I was so focused on getting a transaction, like actually getting someone to buy something, and what the website would look like and merchandising it, that I didn't even think about how I was going to fill the order. So that first order, I had to take it to the post office and like manually give them all the information so they could print the label so I could get it off, right? And then it all just follows the breadcrumbs from there operationally. Ultimately, one of the things that we're known for is out of my parents' living room, my dad used to, with my mom's assistance, pack and ship all the orders, put them in garbage bags, and drive them to the post office.
That's great.
Chris, what was your first big break? Like, what did you do that really kind of started things to where, okay, this is going to become a business?
So every day I would go on Facebook ads every single day, and I would run about $50 a day on a campaign, and I would lose money every single day. I would have no trackable sales for a year. But I would try like a new message, and ultimately I would get some sales with high discount.
Was it all Facebook at that point?
And Twitter ads, oddly. It was not really the popular place at the time, but it was an easier dashboard for me to learn. So
yeah, understood.
I was messing with that. I was messing with Google, messing with Meta.
Yep.
At the time, just Facebook. And, but one day I woke up and did my normal thing, eat breakfast, write up an ad campaign, and launch it. And it was this long quote. It was the anti-best practice. It was not video. It was a static image that was taken in someone's backyard. And it was a long quote from me. And it was like, basically, our problem with sunglasses for years has been trying to come up with something that's going to keep up when we're in the waves, when we're working in the dirt, blah, blah, blah. And that's why we created Shady Rays, quality polarized sunglasses with loss of working protection that give back. You know, we're an independent company. I'm summarizing. But it was this paragraph. And it started to take off. And by take off, I mean, you know, it did a little bit better. But it drove some sales. But it was the first time we drove sales that were not discount. So it wasn't just a transactional commodity price. People were learning something about the story and what we were doing. And that became the jumping off point to say, like, okay, this message is resonating. So let's do more content like this. Let's do videos like this. Let's do more and so that helped can kind of consolidate. And then what people were buying and what people were asking for led to the product development. We didn't have sports styles. Everybody's like, I want sports sunglasses. So we go source a bunch of sports sunglasses.
Okay.
And
so you further developed your product.
But I was pretty. It wasn't technically crowdsourced. I don't usually use that term, but it was kind of crowdsourced. And then, of course, now we'll take 2 years. We'll patent our design.
Sure.
We've got full industrial designers, and
sure.
and you know we have that now. But like at the time, we didn't. So it was there are stock frames. We can get samples. I can request small things to be different from a finish standpoint, from a branding standpoint, and that's how we cobbled it together.
I'm absolutely amazed right now. Chris, I could probably do this all day. I'm going to be mindful of your time here, but I'm enthralled here. I read somewhere where you wanted to build a company whose purpose went beyond dollars and cents. What does Shady Rays stand for? And what are some of the things that you've done that your company you think makes the most difference?
Yeah, so I wanted to wake up and work hard at something that was going to do good in the world and be purposeful.
Fair enough.
And that is going to be something more than products for cash. And so we talked to our very earliest customers. about what they were passionate about and tried to come up with a charitable tie for Shady Rays that could be a win-win for everybody. Like enhance the brand community, but allow us to do like real tangible good. And initially that was 10 meals with every order to fight hunger in America.
Oh, wow.
And so we started working with Feeding America, and we've done more than 25 million meals donated. But what was funny was I never reached out to them. I never contacted them at all. We just decided that that would be good. And so
came up with that.
So we just started sending them money.
Wow.
We just started sending them money, and ultimately they emailed from their Chicago office, and they're like, "Who are you all?"
Yeah.
And we kind of went up the ladder with them, I was proud at one point that at our annual report there was like top donors like Cisco and Subway and Shady Rays, and it was cool that we could actually make such a big impact. But the whole point was like do something very tangible that people can get their head around.
Yep.
When you buy a pair of sunglasses, you're getting 10 meals. You're facilitating delivery of 10 meals.
Yeah.
And so that was always good. We have an impact program now and the reason why we've adjusted it is just so we can widen the amount of causes that we support. So we support a variety of charities, one being Rock Solid Foundation, First Descent. So I can talk to those if you're interested. But it's all about helping people that we can know their story and actually in some cases meet them, help them ourselves, build them play sets, like see them when they are on it. We have pictures in our office of kids that we've helped that people know them by their first name.
That's awesome.
And so that's like the thing that I'm so passionate about. But that is the idea. Like everything should ladder to something good. What we should operate as an ethical business, and something good should come out of every sale.
Rich, you're in the same business.
Yeah, listen, we really are. I mean, we've sort of started this thing around the kid who can't attend the Catholic school, no matter where in the Archdiocese of Louisville. It could be anywhere. And what we found over 25 years is that the number of people that really want to be in a Catholic school is more than you think. A lot of people won't come forward. Either they're sort of embarrassed, they're ashamed, that they don't want to be seen as somebody that needs help in that kind of way. And what we've done is really invite those people to come forward, and our numbers have gotten such that people want to come on board. They want their kid to have this gift of a Catholic education. And gosh, I think when I started 11 years ago, we were doing good work then. It was 1,500 kids we were helping, and now we're almost 4,000 a year.
Wow.
And in all different parts of the county and south of Jefferson County as well. But it's amazing. And now, this is our 11th year of this experiment, and a lot of those kids have gone on to high school, college. I mean, we've stayed in touch with some of them to get to know their families. And there's two young women in particular that we met years ago, one at St. Rita, one at St. Edward School, and both of whom were Hispanic and both of whom wanted to be in a Catholic school, but there's just sort of no way. Mom didn't speak a lot of English. These were 4th, 5th grade kids. And we sort of showed them the pathway to get into those schools. And from there, they both went to Mercy Academy. They're both all-stars, and they both just graduated from Bellarmine University.
That's right.
Wow.
One in finance, and one's going to be is going to work at Norton Healthcare here in Louisville. So that, when you just see, to your point, when you can see a picture and tell a story like that, it's phenomenal.
It's pretty cool that another Catholic school kid's over here, not only being successful in business, Rich, but also working to tackle huge social issues too. I mean, that's what we do.
No, listen, I think Chris is just another great example of a local Catholic school kid who learned that Catholic education is a lot more than academics. It's more than athletics. It's more than extracurriculars. It's the growth and development of your faith.
That's right.
And that message, that gospel message, once you learn it and it's rooted inside of you, you'll never lose it. And what you're doing every day with your family, we want to talk about your family in a minute, what you do with your family and your business, and how you think about how many people depend on Chris every day, right? Yep. Whether they be vendors, customers, and whoever. It's this huge swath of people that before sort of didn't. And what he brings to the table every day in terms of his own behavior, how he treats people, how he serves others. I mean, it's just success upon success.
So you mentioned Chris's family. So your brother Dan is actually the CEO of the company, correct?
COO, yes.
So tell us how that happened, and obviously brothers working together can be challenging, but great at the same time. And talk to us about how you've expanded the business in such a breakneck pace.
So it works really well, my brother Dan, because we really have different expertise and different passions within business.
Yeah.
Very clearly. So myself, it's very much around innovation, vision, marketing, creativity, product, and finance ladders to me. And Dan comes from an industrial engineering background. And went through the leadership program at GE, was highly successful and moving quickly through his career path there. But fortunately, when he came over to Shady Rays, it was because we had outgrown our third-party fulfillment center.
Got it.
And we were going to build our own for the first time. And he's the one that made that happen.
Awesome.
If he didn't join, I probably wouldn't have even done it. I probably stayed with contract shipping.
Gotcha.
But process, operations, metric scorecard, these things are his passion and his expertise. And so he managed that side of the business. I managed the other side of the business. And it works really well.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. So you guys have diversified a little bit outside of sunglasses, right? So Shady Rays sells other things now?
We sell snow goggles.
Okay.
We sell accessories like hats and shirts. It's a small part of the business. Primarily, it's polarized sunglasses and snow goggles.
Snow goggles.
Yeah.
So that's kind of okay. That's pretty cool. I mean, again, man, it's about the marketing piece. Being a marketing guy, I've got an idea. I'll pitch to you after the show here. But it's what have you found other than your initial message that has worked marketing wise?
I think our focus on growth is how can we find the silver bullet moments? What are the things that truly propel us forward and make everything else work?
Right.
I really love the book, The One Thing. There's a few books I like that we read as a book club, but and for us, that is the right message / creative with the right product and the right website that converts, like that combination of things, basically advertising through media effectively will work at scale in really big ways and allow us to have outsized growth. So when we found the right product and the right creative, right website for Meta ads, and then for cable television, and then with podcasting, media partnerships like Barstool Sports, these things, we take calculated bets to go big in those areas. And we run advertising on places we can measure. And so what I don't subscribe to as much is awareness advertising and general surveys. Like I want to put out smart message, but I want it to be measurable quickly because that's how we can scale it quickly. And that's what's allowed us to have the growth that we have, is being able to go big in these pretty narrow areas. Ultimately, we have things like our own retail stores now. By the end of summer, we'll have 8 total retail stores, which are awesome. It's a very small part of the business. Our business is running resonant messaging to consumers nationally at scale and driving the website.
What about international sales? Do you have a cadre of customers international as well, or is this domestic mostly?
It's domestic mostly. We have a decent amount of customers in Canada and Australia. Australia is particularly nice because their seasons are flipped, and so we can focus on Australia in the wintertime. But it is not as much of a strategic focus for us right now. We want it to be down the road, but we think that what we really know and what we still have potential in is the U.S. growth.
Does that become a lot more complicated when you go international?
Well, the margins get squeezed for one because it's more expensive to fulfill. There was a time when we were testing fulfillment centers in international countries like Australia, but we can ship pretty efficiently to Canada. So Canada's been a really good one. We actually are only 1 day shipping to Canada.
Wow.
So there's some currency conversion. There's some increased pricing to help manage that, but it's fairly limited. We don't put as much emphasis on the EU and that sort of thing.
So how big is your market share in the United States roughly? I mean, do you measure that, or can you measure that?
Total market share for what the industry would call Plano sunglasses, which is non-prescription sunglasses, we're still very small.
Okay.
Very small. I mean, we're under 1%,
Okay.
right, in the total. Now, in the mid-priced sunglasses category, most brands are like 200 plus. Oakley, Ray-Ban, Maui Jim, you name all the things in sunglass set. And then you've got low-end, gas station, Amazon sunglasses. In the mid-price, we're in the top 2 or 3 brands in the country. And so for the people that are shopping that $50 to $100 price point, we're almost as big as anyone. So we have a decent share. I'm not sure the percentage because a lot of the other companies are independent also.
But you have competitors. I mean, you got people shooting at you every day.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And newer, smaller competitors. And so that's always been the case. Yeah.
Chris, you can pass on this question if you want, but curious for our listeners, what will Shady Rays total revenue be this year?
So we don't share our revenue, but we do ship more than 1 million orders a year.
Perfect.
Wow, $1 million a year.
That's smart.
All from out of that tub underneath the bed.
Unbelievable. All right. So one more Shady Rays question. What do you think has been your biggest setback along the way?
Oh gosh, biggest setback. There have been lots of setbacks. The biggest setback, I would say the biggest setback we've had really is in the volatility of ad costs and the ad market in general, because that can, one, it can turn on a dime.
Yep.
And two, we're just so highly leveraged in that area.
Yeah.
So the thing that keeps me up at night is mostly that.
Yeah.
And we have to, each year, we have to have the new hits, the new news, the new things that combat that.
Right. Yep.
And it's the name of the game.
Yeah, man. I'm with you on that. I live that world too. It's it can be stressful. We just wrapped up our bourbon raffle, and it takes a lot to promote that, and we do a lot through Facebook. And, we had a very successful bourbon raffle, and it ended up being a huge success. But we'll continue forward. But the ad costs, it's amazing how different they were this year than they were last year. I mean, it changes on a dime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Chris, what's next? What's the vision for your future?
So we're still just focused on one, being as innovative as we possibly can, building proprietary products within sunglasses and adjacent products that we want to continue to scale. We want to be the leading mid-price sunglasses brand in the U.S.
Got it.
Like that is our goal. We're ultimately doubling down on quality. We're doubling down on our lost and broken warranty. At some point, we had people recommending to us, accountants recommending to us, you shouldn't do that. The gross margin's horrible. Yes, we understand, but that is still the goal, and we're building our team to support growth as well. So we've expanded our team. We're trying to in-house core competencies as much as possible.
Yep.
So we've been very focused on that, and that's done really well for us. Helped us out a lot with customer service, the operational areas, and that's really it's full steam ahead.
Pretty awesome. All right, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this question because we haven't hit on this very much. But how has your Catholic faith and your Catholic education played a role in your success, Chris?
So similar to what Rich was talking about, or aligned with what Rich was talking about a little bit ago, it's always from as long as I can remember, it was just this steady guidepost. And I might go as a kid, I'm growing up, we're going to adolescence, go a little bit farther away, a little bit closer, but strong family, strong faith, strong education always kept that ultimately like that focus. So that was kind of that gravitational pull that I always had to just know what was right, know what the North Star should be.
Right.
And sometimes I listen to it and sometimes I don't listen to it, but it's there. And I think that being ingrained over the years just helped solidify, one, wanting to run a company with purpose, wanting to live a life with purpose, and not assuming I'm doing everything great either at all. Some things great, and it's all still a work in process all the time.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at my faith and look at the business, is just keep working on it to be the best I can every day.
And you now have a young family. Let's talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
good point.
I mean,
Yeah, that you're bringing up in the Catholic faith, right?
Yes, we're busy. We've got 2 boys, 5 and 6, and we've got a daughter as well, who's 1. So we have a lot going on in our house.
Yeah, busy's an understatement there.
That's awesome.
Chris, what advice would you give for someone who's trying to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, I think the most important advice is to just start and not overthink. And you can listen to the advice of top entrepreneurs and people that have built some of the best businesses. Like, you'll hear that peppered in, but it's just the literal truth. Like, as opposed to saying something that is like inspirational or sounds good, like, it is just the truth that people should start a business immediately, because so many people will think about it and not do it. So I was talking to students recently. I'm like, if you want to start a business, you should start it today. Like, literally today. Make a phone call or start something and start down that road. And like Yvonne Chouinard says, the founder of Patagonia, like, take a step, see how it feels. Take another step, see how it feels. Take another step, see how it feels. And you'll either learn something or you'll find some traction. With Shady Rays, you have to show up every day. And you have to push through so many challenges. And you kind of have to just keep showing up even when it's not working. And then eventually you'll look back and like, you'll be farther.
Right.
And you'll be at an interesting place. But you kind of got to take the baton and say, this is the lifestyle I want to lead, and we're going to go at this. And if it's not this, it's going to be something else, and just start going down the path. And for me, having the passion and interest to do this, like, that's been the really compelling part of it, and still is. Like, I'm still working progress. We got problems right now.
Sure.
Right. That we'll work on today.
Sure.
And so you always have this like mix of like success and challenges,
right.
And but ultimately, like, you just have to start it. And no matter what age you are, you just have to start.
You just got to do it. Got to jump in.
Well, how have you grown to become the CEO of a large enterprise? I mean, you started out in your bedroom, and now you've got all these people depending on you, all these customers, all these pressures.
Yeah.
How have you learned to sort of be the CEO, not only in name, but in fact? And what process did you go through there?
Yeah, so I had no idea how to be a CEO. I was a guy that figured out how to sell sunglasses on the internet, right? And I'm really good with my laptop at a coffee shop brainstorming. And so we started using headhunters and hiring some people from the best brands in the country, and I needed to learn how to be a CEO. One, I have a really good strategic partner in this, and a consultant who was a CEO of a large eyewear brand, and does not have experience in like direct to consumer and e-commerce, but helped me frame and structure how we should do strategic planning, how to lay out a vision, KPI, strategic pillars, and operationalize that to the team, right? And so going through those motions now has given me good framework for being a CEO, talking to other CEOs and trying to understand, like, what are the key things that you do on a day-to-day basis? Because there's not anything, if I don't work, it's not like there's certain responsibilities I have that the business doesn't run without. And so where do I put my focus? Where do I put my time that's most productive? And so learned all that by doing, but essentially we've rolled out like those sorts of strategic structures, focus on strategy, and then find the right ways for me to communicate the vision effectively to the organization so that it sticks, as opposed to just being a bull in the china shop and sharing all my ideas all the time. And so being thoughtful about that. I think those are the things I think about. And I try to have this blend, right, of like, I need to be a polished CEO, and I need to be a professional CEO. And at the same time, like, we don't need to be that fancy either. Steve Jobs was multiple billions of dollars, and he was complaining, why can't we act like a startup? So I think about that. Like, why can't we act like a startup? Like, we're big, but we're not actually that big in the industry. So like, I have to be the X factor entrepreneurial force, because that's the role I need to play. So I play that role, and let's try to keep everything like clear for people as much as possible.
Yeah, I think clear vision really matters, particularly as you get larger in the vision, but sort of clarity of purpose, right? You gotta make it sort of simple. The message has to be sort of simple. This is This is our vision. This is what we're going to do. And I've seen companies over my career that were really good at that. Again, clear vision, concise purpose, but that's hard to do. It's hard to do, particularly when you have so many different types of people in the organization that are different than you. And bringing that together to your great talent is really hard to do, and not everybody can do it. So congratulations. That's a biggie.
Chris, this was the master class today on how to start an e-commerce business. There's a 2-minute period there when you're kind of you rattled off. Here's the steps that I'm going to cut into a reel, and we're going to give Gary Vee a run for his money here. When I'm telling you, that was incredible. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Best of luck to you, Dan, the Shady Rays team, this awesome endeavor that truly changes people's lives. I mean, you talk about how you've added you guys are feeding people while selling sunglasses. Pretty awesome. So
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate being here.
Rich, as every Catholic school family in need now knows, at the Catholic Education Foundation,
the answer is yes.
Chris, thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Catholic Education Foundation podcast. We will be back next month with another engaging guest.
Thank you, Chris. Really awesome.